Eli Roth's The Green Inferno is an homage to the cannibal films that were prevalent in the late 70s and early 80s. Films like Cannibal Ferox, or aka Make Them Die Slowly, or Cannibal Holocaust are two films that really stand out in my mind as movies that define what the cannibal genre is. When I heard that Eli Roth was doing a cannibal film, I was excited. I'm actually a fan of Roth's, and I enjoyed Cabin Fever, and I really enjoyed Hostels 1 and 2. And when I thought that Eli Roth is now going to be bringing that to a cannibal film, I was expecting nothing but a bloodbath, to say the least. And finally, when seeing Green Inferno, I guess my expectations and the high standards that I held Eli Roth at basically was an undoing for the film itself, as I was really disappointed in this one. For a cannibal film, especially one like this, there are so many things that I saw visually in the two films I mentioned that were etched into my retina that I would never forget. And I myself would love to see a modern director, especially one with such a solid connection to horror and torture porn, as you would say, to present a film of that nature that would be basically dark, bloody, violent, disturbing, even for me. I mean, I could sit through like the most gratuitously gory, bloody movie ever and not be fazed. But then you put me in front of a movie like Inside, and I will be disturbed beyond belief. That movie, I highly recommend Inside if you haven't already seen it, but that was a very disturbing film. So my expectations going into Green Inferno was I was like gonna get a very disturbing, gory, violent, entertaining cannibal film. Then what I got only met some of those expectations. One of the big problems with the film was the character arc. What draws these characters to the jungle was a attempt at social activism, and an attempt to save a tribe in the Amazon. But that entire story arc that encompasses the beginning of the film and the end of the film just felt so unnecessary. I really wanted the movie to just get going and get to the meat of the story, or why we're really here. And when you see the film, it's almost like you see a point in the film where you can the movie could have just began right there and would have not lost an ounce of credibility or enjoyment. If that entire opening sequence was jettisoned, I probably would have enjoyed this movie even more. And if the end sequence, the denouement of the film, and including the post-credit sequence, yes, there is a post-credit sequence in this one, if those were excised, I probably would have liked this one a lot more than I did. Instead, you're bogged down with some pretty bad acting here. I mean, I know it's for our film that's bad, but some of the acting is irritatingly bad. But the violence that occurs against these characters are brutal, yes, but for this horror fan, this gorehound, this person who just wants blood, it's like, come on, give me the blood, give me the blood, give me the blood. Was very let down by what was shown. The visual effects were done by I believe it was K&B, or at least Nicotero and Berger were behind the visual effects, and they're good, but for the level of violence that they showed, it's actually not as bad as the worst not being the worst, but the goriest Walking Dead episode. And they show a lot of stuff that is pretty gruesome. The spoiler alert if you haven't gotten that far, but there's a character, I believe it was in the last season, who dies in front of the eyes of another major character, and he dies in the most brutally violent way. You want to turn away from the screen. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And they keep the camera on that. They show it to you. They rub it in your face. But here we're just getting little teases of what's being shown, and again, I was very disappointed in what Eli Roth decided to show and what to present. I mean, sorry if it's a spoiler and it might be a little too gratuitous to discuss, so you might want to cover your ears or something. But there was stuff like in, I'm going to get them confused, but in one of the two cannibal films, there was like moments where a man had his testicles cut off, or maybe it was his penis, or maybe it was both, were cut off, and the cannibal ate it in front of the camera. Another one where a woman was hung with hooks through her breasts, and she was just hanging there. Another one where a woman was found skewered on a pole like she was a barbecue, skewered through right between her legs and the top of the pole coming out of her mouth. Stuff like that are probably incredibly gruesome to see, and are like everlasting in your mind and your memory, and it's like scratched into your cornea, and you can't shake those images. I didn't see any of that in this one. And that's what I was hoping to see in this movie. But alas, we did not get that. So I guess expectations could be some of the reasons why I really was not too thrilled about it. But it really boiled down to not just that, but just the way the story is, the structure, the acting, and it basically really brought the film down. Horror fans will definitely enjoy it. It is effective. Apparently, it is a very effective movie. I mean, there were scenes where I kind of flinched. It's like, oh, that was nasty and whatnot. But and I did witness people leaving the theater. At least four to five people walked out on this film. So, Green Inferno for a diehard fan could be a solid film. But for me, as a fan of horror and a fan of the cannibal genre, and as a fan of Roth and someone who would expect more from Roth, I'd have to give Green Inferno a 4.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's a very disappointing film. It really could have been like I mentioned, tightened up, and there was some like asinine amateurish humor thrown in there for no point. That just really irritated the hell out of me, and it was almost like an affront to my sense of humor and intellect. Like, it's like, seriously, you're really doing this? But yeah, Green Inferno, if you're a horror fan, definitely go see it. Nothing I say is going to prevent you from going, and you may enjoy it better than I did. But for me, it just didn't work. But not to say that I'm down on Roth, but not every director can't reach his audience with every film. Everyone has at least one. Like Spielberg was The Lost World, or for me, Paul Thomas Anderson was The Master. And it's like I wasn't a big fan of either one of those. But Green Inferno was a big miss for me from a pretty damn good horror director. So if you like my review, hit the like button below. And if you've seen Green Inferno, and what'd you think? What were you looking forward to most? Please share in the comments below and let me know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you can stay on top of the reviews as they come in. So until next time, if you're going to become an activist, do your research first.